It's a 1 million cups tradition to provide a standing ovation to our presenter today, KP with Nymbl Technologies. All right, let's rock it.
Thanks and good morning. This is, yep. My name is Prabhakar Curry. I go by KP. That's my business partner, Eric Matson. And we started this company, Nymbl Technologies, about 2016, September 2016. So it's been about 15 months. And the reason, the background is basically, Eric, as I said, is a fitness trainer. I am a couch potato for the most part. But I started, about in 2007 or 2008, it just somehow this crazy idea that I wanted to run a marathon, and I had never run more than 3 miles in my life. And so I started training for the Twin Cities Marathon. I ran 3 or 4 of them so far. And my best time so far has been only 4 hours and 26 minutes. So those of you who run, it's a 10-minute mile pace, okay? In the marathon circles, that's called walking. It's 26 miles of walking. So to be truly considered a marathoner, you're supposed to run it under 4 hours, which is a 9-minute mile pace, okay? So okay, and what's the big deal, right? But it's a big deal for me. I'm not a lifetime athlete. I never ran before. So as I was training for my Twin Cities marathon and the other marathons that I'd ran, my long runs were always on the weekends when I would run 10 miles or more. And 2 or 3 months into my training, I'd get lower back pain because I was running for 2 hours, 3 hours. All the pounding was taking a toll. My doctor took a quick look and he said, nothing wrong with your back, it's you just need physiotherapy or maybe even, fitness. So then I went and talked to Eric Matson. Eric Matson had a studio called Fitness Together in Chanhassen. And it was an interesting conversation. It was a Saturday evening. I was driving by. I think I was going to get pizza. But anyway, I saw this place right next to it. And I said, I just walked in at 4:30 in the afternoon, to Saturday afternoon. I said, hey, I'm training for this Twin Cities Marathon, and my lower back hurts. He said, let me do an assessment, right? And I'm sure I got an F- on that. But he made me do things. He doesn't give out Fs. If he did, he would have given. Anyway, so he did that, and he says, well, nothing wrong with your back. What's wrong is your upper body. Your upper body is weak, and so let's fix that. And he said, my guess is if you fix your upper body, make it stronger, you will slouch less, you will take the pressure off your backbone, and hopefully it'll improve your backache issue, right? And I said, fine, just fix it. I don't care. So we agreed on the economics of it. That was the more tough conversation for me. And so I said one-on-one training 3 times a week. So I started going to his gym, and Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Mondays and Wednesdays he did one-on-one training with me, upper body or legs or lower body, whatever he wanted to. And then Thursdays was a group training, more aerobic and intensity. So 9 months into this, my back pain went away. Okay, so I was feeling better. My lower back pain went away. I haven't had lower back pain in years now. So I believe in that. So workouts work, But then I was like I said, my background is I'm an investment banker. I used to be an investment banker. Corporate America, I was doing a lot of mergers and acquisitions and investments, and I do a lot of numbers. I love Excel, right? If I could marry Excel, oh no, I shouldn't say that. My wife wouldn't like that. But anyway, so Eric took lots of notes and numbers on a spreadsheet every time I went in, right? He had a clipboard. He would write down everything that I did. He'd take notes on how I was doing, every muscle group. And then, like I said, 9 months into it, I said, show me my data. I said, show me how much better I am. And just don't say you're 20% better. Show me by muscle group, right? Because he tracks these and he designs these exercises by muscle group. I said, show me how much stronger my biceps are, triceps are, quads, lats, And this was a Thursday, and he says, let's have this conversation next week. I'm like, why? He says, I have all this data, sure, but I haven't put it back in Excel. I need to put it back in Excel, and he uses Excel too. And I'll draw some graphs, and it's going to take me a few hours. So let's have this conversation next week. I'm like, this is crazy, right? This is the 21st century. Amazon gives me stuff the same day. I can't wait till next week. You got to give me numbers right now. Anyway, so that was the conversation. That was like, aha, okay, how can I help him? The other thing, then we got talking, and then he had a Mac and he had a PC, and he had, he had two other trainers. They were answering telephones and texting and everything. And he said, "This is really frustrating, KP. This takes a lot of time every week. I spend 8 hours or more every week just doing administrative stuff, scheduling, rescheduling, payments, and all that stuff. I really don't have time to do things that I really like, which is training people and showing them how they're doing." So I said, wait a minute. Okay, we should be able to do something about this. So with that, we started with this. And whoops, let's see if we can get this right. That's it. We founded it in September 2016. Our vision is it's time to retire the clipboard, right? I mean, a lot of trainers, every good trainer in all the big gyms, you'll see them, you've seen them, right? Walking around with clipboards. They're taking good data. We're like, we need to get rid of the clipboard, put it on an iPad or a tablet. That's simply the vision, right? For every trainer in the United States, or hopefully the entire world, get rid of the clipboards, right? So I don't have anything personally against the clipboards, but we want to get rid of them. So with that, I'll let Eric talk about what he sees.
All right, so like KP was saying, I had a lot of different tools that I was using on a daily basis. It's kind of funny that if you ever want to be a trainer and not train anybody, become a trainer or own a business, because I spend more of my time doing other things other than training. So like KP said, at that time I had 2 employees. They did a lot of the training. I did the pickup training, but I had to do all the administrative stuff. And the reason it was so difficult was that we had clipboards, we had smartphones, we had laptops, we had payment devices, we had a program to re-enter data into so I can give him graphs and show him where his accomplishments are. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of working left-handed here, so I'm normally right-handed. But anyways, so all these things were taking up my time in trying to basically show the client where they're at as far as scheduling and payments and all these things are, where I wasn't actually physically training, designing programs, things that they're actually trying to accomplish. So that's really what we've come up with, is a tool that's in one spot. Like KP was saying, we had all these different computers and clipboards. I had a filing cabinet, probably easily these 3 tables long, filled with clients' files. And they'd come back and say, what did we do 2 years ago? That was so great. I really enjoyed that one exercise. And I'm thumbing through papers, finding their old files. I kept them. I still have them. So all these reports and schedules now are all condensed into one little platform. It's in an iPad. Now, I have no business being in technology. I'm a coach by trade. I coached college football in the past. I'm a strength coach, all those fun things. So this has been a real interesting adventure in how you take all this and just pile it into one device. I've learned a lot with that.
So our initial focus is the domestic fitness market, and we thought long and hard because we spent a lot of time figuring out, where could we take this and what other industries can we apply this to. So fitness is about a $47 billion market in the United States. That's how much money it generates. So the big gyms alone, the Lifetime Fitnesses, the LA Fitnesses, they are about a $27 billion business. And then there's a huge trend, and Eric can talk to it, in smaller format gyms, like a studio, where it's more intimate. There's not as many people grunting and lifting 200 pounds and making you feel really bad. There's more. There's more one-on-one and small group training, right? And that's about a $20 billion business. So just that's fitness alone. Does not include yoga. Does not include Pilates. Does not include bicycle, cycling, or swimming. Just fitness and strength training. And then the physio and occupational therapy market is about $22 billion. So we said, those are big markets, big chunks. Let's start. Where do we want to start? We want to start with focusing on independent and small, medium businesses. Businesses like Eric. Eric had 3 trainers. There's a lot of business in the Twin Cities alone that have 2 or 3 gyms, and maybe 5 employees, 7 employees. We're not trying to target the Lifetime Fitnesses yet, because they already have invested millions of dollars into their systems, and they have systems in place. But folks like Eric Mattson have absolutely no tools to actually do everything that they need to do. It's the fastest growing segment. It's growing about 7%, 6.7% annually. The market for fitness apps is very small right now. I mean, there's a lot of apps for individuals like you and me. We can go online and find a free app, right? And there's lots of apps like that, but there's nothing that's focused on the trainers. So it's a very nascent and emerging market. So we think that we conservatively estimated, like we said, let's say 10% of the fitness trainers use this app, and they pay about $100 a month. So we think it's about $1 billion. It seems small, but it's the adjacencies are pretty large. And then we think that the international market is about half as much again. And this is just the fitness app for trainers. The long-term goal is to service the insurance industries with fitness data analytics. I like data. I've done a lot of data analysis, and I can see the insurance industry. My last job was at Prime Therapeutics, which services the Blue Cross Blue Shields. And they love this. I mean, there's many of you, if you work in large corporations, you probably have an incentive to wear a Fitbit, and if you walk 10,000 steps a day, you get $30 off a month or something like that. My wife does that. So the insurance industry is going to be huge all over it. Now, these guys get a lot of data, and that data is, like you said, going into a filing cabinet. And there's more data on me that he knows than a doctor will ever know. So we think an insurance industry is going to be the next logical step for us eventually. That's a much bigger market. Okay, maybe you want to talk about that?
Yeah. Well, this is what we are trying to accomplish in one app, is that all this now comes and centralizes into one component, so any reports, any scheduling, there's a customized library that goes in there, so now I'm not going off the top of my head or have, an Excel worksheet that's, I don't know how many pages long of exercises. Like I said, someone comes back 2 years later and says, hey, I really like those lunges that we did. How did we do those? And I'm going, lunges? I see, 60 people in a week. How am I supposed to do 60 sessions in a week? How am I supposed to remember 2 years ago? So that library comes into play there. Client management's a big thing. And KP talked about, the big gyms, and then there's all these little independent trainers. And that's really where this comes into play. Big box gyms are great. They have everything, and they're for some people. But there's a segment of the community, there's a segment of people that are like, and it's like millions cups. All right, why are you here? Because people. All right, that's why I'm a small, independent trainer, not a big box gym. I just need enough people to sustain a life, sustain a living. I don't need to meet sales quotas. I don't need to meet all these other things that go with it. I don't need to climb the corporate ladder. I want to meet people. I want to have a relationship with people. When KP says I have a sore back, I want to be able to focus on him as a person and treat him as an individual. Not worry about, is he going to renew? Is he going to do all these other things? Now, yes, as a business person, you want to make sure the person renews. But if you're managing the person, they will renew because you build a relationship. All right, and that's the big part of this whole thing. Is this client management? Is economics of them, what they can afford, what they can't afford. You understand the scheduling. Who has kids, who doesn't have kids, who can have time at what certain times. It helps manage that. Can they help schedule themselves? Can they come in and say, hey, it's a snow day, we got 12 inches of snow. I can't make it, so let's scratch that off the books and let me get it in on Tuesday. So that's some things that we want to be able to pull in also. Assessments like he was talking about, just everyday kind of updates. Where am I? I don't know if anybody in this room has ever been through the process. I'll just name the number one concern, the number one goal that people come to me with is, I need weight loss. And then they start tracking weight loss, and they're like, Eric, I'm up 2 pounds. Eric, I'm down 3 pounds. I'm up 1 more pound. Now I'm down 4 pounds. And it's just, it's up and down, and they get so locked in on a daily basis that they don't see, it's like watching the stock market, hey, it's either going down or it's going up, So over a period of time. So those assessments and then reporting on it. And these are all then be tied into one device, handheld. So now instead of carrying a bag around with everybody's files for my daily trainings, I'm carrying around one iPad. It's easy, it's simple. It's what we want.
So we developed a native mobile app. Right now we only have the iOS version. Android is in the works. A couple of reasons. One is iOS is, from a tablet perspective, it's the largest market share in the US. It's about 60%, I believe, tablets. And then two, version management and is very difficult with Android because iOS Apple controls it. It's obviously cloud-based and accessible anywhere you are. That's our product. Let's see. So these are some screenshots. On the left, that's just a live screenshot of a workout. This is the assessments, we can track, and there's a list that, and historically you can go back and look how your body has been responding, and you can graph it. And this is just data. This is just the data dump, and there'll be reports based on that data of what you've been working out. So our revenue model is a software SaaS model, monthly subscriptions. Our goal is to target a small to medium-sized business. They typically spend about $3,000 to $4,000 or maybe even $5,000 on technology every year. So our goal is to kind of be somewhere in the $1,000 to $2,000 range for now. And that's our goal. Competition. There aren't any direct competitors right now. Most people focus on club management. That's for the big gyms. Then there's the fitness and wellness equipment. This company called eGym out of Germany is really interesting. They have a unique business model. They want to remove the trainer from the gym completely. So their machines are all computer controlled, and they have a very nice app. So you walk in, and it's a computer controlled machine. Think about Armageddon, right? The machine takes over, and you're locked, and you can't get out. They have very interesting machines. The software firms, there's the software firms that do a lot of software, and there's a wellness firm, and they're high-end, and they're focused on wellness and well-being. So there is really no direct competitors. We're competing with the clipboard because everybody likes the comfort and the familiarity and the ease of a clipboard. So that's our real competitor right now. Let's see. Well, that's it. Thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you, JP.
Eric, this is for you.
Yep.
I'm CFO of Our Family Wizard. We're a co-parenting website, but one of the things we do is we sell to the professionals, but they don't buy the account. The individuals end up buying the account. Is there a possible business model? Would your clients pay for this?
That's a good question. So we've kicked around a lot of ideas about who's this going out to, who should pay for it, who's it going to be free to. So we've done a lot of different ideas and soul searching on that. Should there be a client version of this? Should there be a training version of this? So that's something that we're really going through the process of right now. As far as most trainers are virtually, they're basically independent. So they might work for Anytime, but they're not an employee of Anytime. They're really an independent contractor. So yes, do they get paid through Anytime? Yes, but they're only getting paid when they're doing trainings or they're doing certain jobs for the gym. When that goes for like Snap and all those times, they're oftentimes independent trainers. They set their own hours when they have trainings, or maybe even based on their tasks. So then, that's another part of this is, do we go to the business owner saying, hey, would you pass it down to your trainers? Or do we just go right to the trainers and say, hey, you're an independent trainer, you train the way you see fit, so here's your device. So we've done a lot of different ideas with that.
I'm kind of the end consumer. So me
Yep.
doing the fitness to say, you're a trainer. Look, here's the tool that you can log in. You
Correct.
can go off on your side, but we have a joint metric.
Yep. So the client app, it's in our product roadmap. I think let's go back and see. It's right there at the bottom.
Yeah.
So the client app would be a skinny down version of the trainer app. Some trainers would like to they're very happy. They'll share the workout with you, and they'll say, Kevin, go ahead. Here's the workout for Monday, and you can do it at home, right, or somewhere else. Some trainers we spoke to are very protective of their secret sauce. They say, I'll only show you my workout when you come here. So the client app, our vision for the client app is, right now we don't have one, it's in the works. Our vision for the client app is the trainer will decide what you get to see. Right, in terms of, you will definitely see your reports. You will definitely see how much weight you're losing or how much muscle you're gaining or those kind of things. You'll definitely be able to reschedule yourself online. There'll be scheduling the piece of it and the payments piece of it. But beyond that, was there something else that you were thinking of when you think about a client app?
Well, it's hard to go tell a trainer to pay for it.
Yes.
But if you went in and said your clients are paying for it, you can now recommend it, and it's a part of your tools in your portfolio to make yourself more professional.
Well, this is one of those A/B marketing testing thing. We just took the B answer. So we thought the trainer should pay for it because, a fitness trainer charges anywhere between $50 to $150 an hour. So, and so if you're a client, you're already paying him $50 or $100 an hour, and then he says, hey, Kevin, go buy this app. He's like, forget about it, right? So the app for the client, we think, should be free. The trainer is the one who's going to be paying us because they're the one who's actually making money. So because the trainer sees other benefits. I mean, the punchline for this app would be it'll shave off 8 hours of administrative time for the trainer, right? And so it should pay for itself. You take those 8 hours and you train or you spend time with your family, whatever it is. It's 8 hours a week we're giving you back. But at least our vision is the client gets it for free. Two things. If the clients get it for free, when the client hops trainers, let's say you switch trainers or you go to a Lifetime Fitness after you're done with this, you'll say, hey, all my data is on here. My trainer over there, he's been doing this. Why don't you get this Nymbl? So then that's our free marketing. I mean, we're hoping it's free marketing. When the clients get they get addicted to the app, they like the reports, they can go tell the trainers, go get the app. And the trainer's the one, at least, I mean, we'll find out.
See, another reason why why we're also thinking of that, I have a lot of snowbirds that come up here, they'll train with me for, up and through December, and then they leave. If they have an app, one, you'll be able to send all your workouts to that person, so I can still physically train them when I'm not with them. They have the program that I give, and we can stay in touch. Two, if they go, and some of them have trainers somewhere else. Some of them went down to Florida and they have a golf coach and they have a trainer down there and that's what they do. Well, now what I could do is say, hey, trainer, you have this same app, I have the same app, here's their data. I'm not in competition because they're in Florida. I'm not really competing with that trainer. My goal as a trainer is to have him have success. So if I pass this on, they have the app, now they just take it down there, there's my data. So there's also that we can share when people leave. And be able to come back and pick up right where they left off. Because then I have the same problem that when the person comes back, is I say, what have you been doing? And they go, well, I don't know. They had me do a bunch of stretchy thingies. Okay, let me get that figured out for you. And so then I would be able to say, that trainer has the same app. Yep, send me this thing out. Because that's the whole part of having that library. They can say, that's my library. Oh, I see what you're doing there. Okay, I got it.
I think we got another question in the back here.
Yeah, so two-part question. First of all, how many independent trainers are there in the United States that aren't part of Lifetime, LA Fitness, et cetera? And then number two, the elephant in the room is what's your marketing strategy and your sales strategy to get to those small and mid-sized trainer guys?
So jump in, Eric, if I'm going off mark. Lifetime also has trainers. They're also 1099s. So from our perspective, they're independent trainers, okay, whether they're at Lifetime or LA Fitness. There's the master trainers or the training director may be an employee, but the trainer you see on the floor is an independent trainer. There's about 260,000 trainers in the United States. That was census data. And that's just fitness trainers, right? It doesn't include schools, no high schools, doesn't include colleges, doesn't include anything else, right? And that's just strength and fitness trainers. So that's roughly the size. And there's about 60,000 small businesses in the United States, and then about 15,000 large gyms. So I don't know, gives you that. Sales and marketing. He's a marketing guru, I'm a sales guru. That's not in our DNA. That's where we have the biggest struggle right now. Digital marketing is obviously what we want to focus on. We want to hit all the trade shows. We want to partner with the thought leaders. There's several thought leaders that trainers follow. You want to?
So, speaking about the trade show, there's different certifications that most trainers will have. They're basically like the big four, which is like the American Council of Exercise, so like ACE, NASM, National Strength and Conditioning Association. There's like I said, the big four. So, one, we go into that market, and if you find the keynote speakers, because these keynote speakers have basically a list of followers. So that would be one strategy. Two, there are websites out there where trainers will register to try to help promote themselves. So obviously we want to get on that, on those websites and get support there. We also find, we just got some data back a list of basically independent trainers, but also small gyms, and then we focus that, breaking down those small gyms. I think we have about 5,000 names, and we're in the process of breaking those down into, different categories. And then the third, or the final one, I don't know if it was third, but the final one, we want to get this into the education system. So my background, I'm not just certified. Now, some trainers are just certified. They go to school for something, and then all of a sudden they wake up one day and say, hey, I want to be certified. They go and get a certification, and then they call themselves a trainer. That's part of the problem with our industry right now, is that it doesn't take a whole lot to be a trainer, all right? Now, to be an educated trainer, that's a different story. I have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, all right? So there's a big difference between a professional trainer that will do the education, the continuing education, and learn about the profession, opposed to just waking up one day and say, hey, I'm going to take this class for 4 months, and I'm now a trainer, all right? So that's where this professionalism comes into place. We want to get ourselves into those institutions, colleges, universities, technical colleges that are having associate degrees, that are producing the trainers. We want to get this tool in their hands. I know I use a lot of the same tools that I used back in college. They taught me the skin fold test, the pinch test, and that type of deal. That's what I use. I use that. They tell you this is how you take blood pressure. This is the stethoscope. This is the sphygmomanometer that you put the cuff and whatever. I use those. That's what I use. So if we can get into the academic institutions, once they start getting basically acclimated to it, they're going to continue using it.
So we have time for one more brief question. Go ahead, Chris.
Along the earlier lines, this is a lot of the information you get here could and should probably be shared with a primary care physician too. So the client, obviously I know now, has access to that data. How easy or difficult is it to make that data accessible to a primary care physician?
Part of that, and that's, we got some good information on that about the HIPAA Act, and there's a big act there as far as what can be shared, what can't be shared. Now, me personally, I work very closely with physicians, physical therapy, all those things that people are using, chiropractors, all those things. My interest is making sure that things are done right, that if I don't know, I'm going to go to people that do know, and I'm gonna basically push that on the people that that's their scope of practice. I'm very careful about staying in my scope of practice. And yes, that's something that we do want to get into, is how do we take this information, be able to share information, so yes, a doctor can then say, let's see what you are doing, let's see the exercises are you doing, and vice versa. Can a doctor then share information back to me as a trainer? Because right now, I send emails back and forth with doctors, chiropractors, physical therapists saying this is what they're at, this is what they're doing, where we'd like to have this go directly right to the trainer saying this is what's happening. If they go in and say, hey, I want my cholesterol changed, the doctor can just update it right now. That'd be the best case scenario with that, is that this is almost a full circle, a health management system, opposed to just a personal training system. It's starting off as just, hey, I want to be able to record, but really we want to get this to a health management system where we're able to track a person's process over 20 years.
So unfortunately, we're at 30 minutes, so we gotta wrap up, and I want to make sure we ask the key question why we're all here. What can our community do for Nymbl and for you as co-founders?
Two things. One is, I think I mentioned this. We need help with digital marketing. Neither of us knows anything. I don't even know how to spell marketing. We need help with digital marketing because that's the key platform we're focusing on to reach out, among other things. The second thing is our app right now is the first version that's out. It's available on the App Store. Is very functional. You won't get excited. You won't get up in the morning and say, I want to use the app. Like some of the apps that you want to use. So we need help with user experience and redesign. Next version will be more redesigned and more user friendly. So we need help with UI and UX.
Feedback. Okay. So with that, let's give a round of applause to